Oh, and we are live. Welcome to the podcast, Too Real for TV, man. How's everybody out there? What's going on, though?
What's happening there?
I'm your boy, Midgie, man, here for another week of
Yo,
movie and TV show reviews, documentaries, and all that jazz, man. How's everything going?
pretty good, man. I just trying to avoid the heat like everybody else, boy.
Listen, it's scorching, man. The church doggone had a dead Carowinds, and I was almost tempted to go. But when I stepped out, I said, nah, we're going to miss this one. We're going to miss this
Shit,
fellowship.
I almost had a heat stroke Tuesday, boy.
Are you serious?
Bro, that's the worst I ever felt in my life, boy.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
and I was hydrated and everything. I damn drank my water, bro. But it was just something about, I guess, because it was hot in the kitchen and then hot outside and then hot in the kitchen, bro.
Couldn't escape the heat.
Bro, I couldn't escape it, bro.
Couldn't escape the heat.
No, bro. I had to go in the freezer for 15 minutes. Then I went home. Like, yo, I just went home and took a nap. Like, just stripped and took a nap, bro. Like I made it to my couch and that was it.
No,
Like
man.
it was that bad, bro. Like then when I finally came to, boy, it took me about 2 hours to get right. Like I was hot to the touch. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
I don't even want to know how that is, man. I'm in
Real.
chilling.
Like when I tell you the worst feeling I've ever had in my life, my head was hurting. I was nauseous,
Really?
stomach cramping, weak, barely like that was the hardest drive home ever, bro. Like just trying to focus and
Mhm.
yeah, bro, it was serious.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
you here, man. Another Sunday. You here to talk
I
that?
made it.
Yeah, man. We got two for y'all tonight, man. Got a documentary watch. Also got a movie, The Accountant 2. Accountant 2
Mhm.
came out maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's the original came out, oof, I want to say over 10 years ago. I want to say. Let me
Was it
look.
that long?
I want to say it was because I remember watching it and like, dang, man. Like, so when two came home, let me look and see. Came out in 2016. So yeah, almost 10
Yeah,
years.
almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. So it came out 2016. You know, Ben Affleck. Just a summary of the first one. Ben Affleck was this accountant. He learned some tricks and trades in prison, but he was very high functioning autistic. But he knew numbers. He could
Break
rattle
down patterns and puzzles.
man. He could rattle off a math equation like it was nothing. And the first one, he was very, very composed, very to himself. He didn't say too much in the first one, but he ended up getting hired by this robotics company, and they hired him to look at their books. But he went and looked. Of course, him being a mathematical genius, he found out, hey, they've been cooking the books. It's like over millions being
Funnel
dispersed otherwhere elsewhere, and some people were behind it and end up unaliving the owner of the company and some other people. And there was some people behind it that were close to the company, but he ended up figuring out. But they also didn't know he had a particular set of
set of skills like a motherfucker.
that didn't allow him to get tried like an accountant. And he ended up coming up out of that. Very, 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 very accurate shooter. He ended up coming out of that, which leads us to this part two. Accountant two. He's chilling. He's out, trying to live a regular life, because in part one he was on the run anyway. He was moving and moving, being an accountant in different places,
Mhm.
never stood still. And this one had more comic relief in it.
It was way more personable.
It was wittier, you got to see a side of him. In the first one, you knew his history, you knew he had a brother that was also a assassin. You saw his home life, but you didn't get a feel of them ever interacting, except for
Mhm.
in the end of the last movie.
Yeah.
And this one just a continuation on he's living his life and his brother's living his life doing what he do. And the detective from the previous movie, um,
Her fine self.
yeah, one of her coworkers ended up getting unalive. He was meeting with somebody. He was trying to find some information for a family and met with somebody. He ended up getting unalive. So now it's like we got to find his unaliver, and we got to find out what's going on with this trafficking in this family. And so he was like, she's out looking. She don't know where to look. So he ends up finding her once he find out the dude got unalive. And she asks him for his help. And he decides to help, but he also brings his brother back in. His brother like, yo, you don't call me.
To help you with the feds, bitch.
I'm hitting you up, this and that, doing this and that, trying to see how you are. We're trying to maintain this brotherhood that we lost along the way. And, you hit me up, and the first thing you say is you need me. Call me, tell me your birthday, and then, it goes on from there. I don't want to ruin the movie if you haven't seen it, but it goes on from there where they're working together to solve this.
It ended up being a lot doper than I thought it was going to be, bro.
Ended up being better than the first one to me.
And that's rare for sequels to do that, but
but where that happened to me, Quiet Place 2. I thought Quiet Place 2 was better than Quiet Place 1.
Way better.
Now that third one, I couldn't get Lupita. I kind of laid off that one, but the previous two definitely were good, and the second one was better than first. But I just, this movie had a lot of action, a lot of great scenes where showing off their particular set of skills, and it's a good movie. Even though it took 9 years to remake, I had to go back and watch the first one. I was telling Doe that off camera. I had to go back and watch the first one because I was lost. I was like, I forgot what happened in first, so I had to go back and watch the first one real quick, and then I jumped into the second one. So I might have to do that with Old Guard too, because I don't know what happened on the Old Guard, the first one.
I remember Old Guard.
I remember slightly. I remember the black girl. I remember the main character, but I just don't remember what the plot or rhyme or reason. It's like, when these shows take a year off and they come back and you be like, what was it?
Bro, I'm gonna have to go back and watch the last season of The Last of Us before I even start this season. Because I started and it was like,
I'm not doing that. I'm just wait till the end. I don't even know if it's ended or not. It might be ending soon.
I think it's on like 8 or 9.
Okay. I know it was only like 8 or 10 last season. So if it's done, then I'll go watch it. That's usually been my take now. I got that from you.
I'm gonna do the same thing with BMF.
I'm gonna do the same thing with BMF. I did it with Raising Kanan. It's just a better formula because I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here week to week when y'all had me wait a whole year and I don't know.
Hey, sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
Has 50's Antics killed the Stars collection that he got going on?
What you mean by antics?
Us knowing so much of what goes on behind the scenes.
In a way,
that and the terrible writing as of late.
In a way, yes, because when you have issues with your cast and some of the cast members and stuff happens, and we know it happens in TV and movies, like producers, directors, executives don't get along with certain folk, and
we should know everything, though.
They end up getting written off the show. But this, like Raising Kanan did a good job last season of bringing Juke's character to play, bringing not Marvin but Lou's character up to play. But then they kind of lost him with Famous. Like Famous was once there, and it's like, no, why'd y'all go after Famous? Like
they still haven't said like what exactly happened, like why he left the show.
So was it a out of character issue that they wrote him off, or was it something on?
I don't know, but like I know him as a person in real life. He a live wire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you could tell from the interviews, he real high energy and abrasive.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like he could have just got on somebody's nerves.
Like the crazy part, they ain't even show his like a flashback of his character.
Nothing.
Or anything in the season.
Nothing. They just mentioned him.
They just mentioned like famous, and then there's no point in like if I'm trying to get back at Rock, I'm trying to get back at Kanan. Why would I go at Famous?
Of all people, I mean, but they were saying
game. He ain't even in the game. So I'm like, why would I? So it's just like of
They
all
try
people,
they
I,
they they try to say he was ratting.
okay. But it was the other folks that had it done so.
Mm-hmm.
I-
Like, yo, they really puppeteering the whole thing.
And maybe that was them, doing that and to get him to turn against his mother. Maybe that's the whole play on it, but it just wasn't explained to me very
Everybody blaming everything on Rock.
everything. And I just that last scene, I can't believe he shot his mom. So I'm not even gonna sit through a whole year and be like, oh,
Yeah, I'm not even gonna sit here and think
I'm,
that you.
I'm wondering if Kanan shot his mom at the end. Like,
Nah, you didn't.
that ain't no cliffhanger. He did. He didn't. So I mean, you gotta be a cold, ruthless dude to do that in the first place. But
Although Kanan was,
right,
I mean, the adult Kanan,
adult Kanan, yes.
Kanan's root. Like here's something that I always try to keep in mind when watching Raising Kanan is that both him and Jukebox are gonna turn into
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold, worse than they aunties, uncles, and dad.
And I just like the arc of her character because they showed her from her trying to do it the right way, being innocent, still doing the right way, being a little in the streets a little bit, but only doing like stealing, robbing, and then being trying to do it the singing way because she had a voice, and then trying to do it the real way, going to the military, and that's when her character switching became this. Oh, I like guns, really.
Like I'm really like my dad. Like I'm really a killer, like you, Nick. Like you have no idea.
I really like these guns. Let me see what I can do with this. So
And I'm nice.
and then the fact she ends up becoming police, like
yeah.
I want to see when that happens. Like when she decides I'm gonna go to the academy, and doesn't help Kanan in
Right.
in this whole thing. So
Because she ended up in Philly, right? Or something like
she ends up Baltimore.
yeah, Baltimore.
I think it was Baltimore.
Shout out to Baltimore, all my family up there. I got a bunch of
She
family.
ended up moving to Baltimore because remember when he was it burned or somebody?
Yeah.
That's where he was hiding out at. So I think it was Baltimore or somewhere like in Maryland, something like that. So I get it. But yeah, it was, but back to the counting, it definitely was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Even though it took a long hiatus, I had to go rewatch, but it ended up being a very good watch for me.
Hey man, like this kind of reminded us of why Ben Affleck is who he is.
Because he did a great job in it. And like even if you didn't know he was autistic, he played the character so well, and he reminds you of someone who's high functioning, very intelligent, just has that autism. So, and like when I was at Coastal, it was a dude working on a cafeteria. He could tell you all your stats the next night.
Okay.
Yes, like after your game, you walk into cafeteria, he's like, "Oh, Antoine, you had 8 points, you were 3 for 4, you two from the free throw line." Like, I'm just here to get lunch, player.
Thank you though.
The first time it happened, I was like, and another teammate walked behind. Oh, Alvin, you had this, so you like, and this dude remembers
Everything.
Everything. Like you walk in, a tough loss last night. You scored with such stuff. Like he was like a ticker, like a ESPN ticker, and you be like, yo, this dude really like. I don't even know if he came to games, but I don't know if he listened to him on the radio. I don't know if he just read it in the paper, but he worked at the Coastal Cafeteria, and he was definitely one of those dudes that were high functioning and very intelligent. So definitely so. But yeah, this is definitely a good movie, man. What you give it? Is Doe frozen? I think he might be frozen. Let me message him and tell him he might be on that juice. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed The Accountant too. Also, I've been watching a documentary called The Mortician. Definitely a crazy documentary. Long story short, family owns this this funeral home service, and they end up getting a crematory. And the son gets it, their firstborn son, and he gets this bright idea like, hey, I'm starting this crematory. I am, you know, I'm gonna make this money from this. And it went from he was doing 100 and so some odd cremations in a year. And all of a sudden it jumped to like 1,600. Then the next year it jumps to like 3,000. It's like, man, how's he doing this? Because you only can do one body every 2 hours, and you got to wait 2 more hours for it to cool. So you can only do like maybe he only had two burn boxes, so it was like you only can do maybe 4 a day. If you're gonna do 8 hours. But it was like he was pumping them out. Come to find out, he was throwing 10, 15, 16, breaking bones, adjusting bodies to fit in this box, and he was burning 15 people off, and you was getting ash, whoever ash you can get.
Yeah.
Computer died?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but what you give it, man? What you give it accounting to?
I like action.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a B, a solid B. Solid B plus.
I was gonna go A minus. I was gonna go A minus, man, because it definitely I'll go B plus. You on mute. Say something. Okay, I hear you now. I hear you fumbling, scraping, and scrambling.
All right, we good?
Yeah, you good.
All right.
You scraping and scrambling like Didi said.
Man, I got this waterproof case.
Is it working?
Yeah, that motherfucker work like a motherfucker. Ain't nothing getting through that bitch. Not even sound, apparently.
Really? God, that's a nice case then.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm gonna go B.
I'll go B plus. It was definitely a solid movie. To say it took so long to make, it definitely showed the growth of the movie. So I enjoyed it.
The only thing that I can knock is that it has some predictable situations.
Yeah.
And when the agent got, what I mean?
Yeah.
Something just told me like, nah, they ain't gonna let her. You know what I mean?
Because she wasn't a focal character on the first.
But they made it so gruesome to you thought, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't like them accentuating things unless they're really gonna follow through with it.
Yeah. These type of movies make me think, are they gonna do another 3 and do it quicker? Because hey, Hollywood ain't really got no original ideas, and this was a very original idea. When I first saw the first account, I was like, "Oh, this was smart."
What's it on Netflix?
Yes, the first account.
Well.
No, it's on Prime. It's on Prime. They both on Prime.
I mean, but Prime is similar to Netflix when it comes to the money grab.
They both on Prime, but ain't too many original. They ain't pumping too many out like Netflix.
Mm-mm.
It's only I know they got the Reacher series. They got Gen V and The Boys. I know they got a couple of those shows, but they don't really have. They ain't really doing too much, putting our hands in too many things. So I can rock with them on that because they don't overflood you. They don't force it. So
nah, they more streamlined than Netflix.
But a lot of things are coming out this week, man. You got Squid Game season 3 is out now.
Man, I couldn't get through season 2, Midge.
Yeah, it definitely lost its luster, but unless it's just the show's just trash, I'm not gonna quit. Like it's only a rare few shows that I remember just dropping off, either because they were too long or because I just didn't like. Empire was one of those shows I fell out of. Scandals was another one. After a while, I was just like, I ain't watching. How to Get Away with Murder.
Like, I don't know why, but I don't know why these studios don't notice, but those long breaks do not help your franchise.
Nah, it don't. Like it's only a few shows I never got back into, and those are 3 that I never quite got back into.
Mhm.
Which we Mike can do a top 5 of that. Mike can do a top 5 on the tickety talk with that, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, we need a damn track over there.
just shoot, man. You ain't saying nothing but a word, brother. But we also watched the Dog Poop Cruise. It's a train wreck. It's a series on Netflix. They did the Travis Scott concert debacle. I watched that one. They also did Woodstock '99, which was terrible. I remember watching that one in the airport.
I don't like that boy.
Huh?
I don't like that boy.
Travis Scott?
Yeah.
He don't bother me. He got a couple hits, but I mean it's not if I'm sitting there like, yo, I wanna listen to some Travis Scott. Like one time when I was in the gym heavy, his music was like, okay. It was just at that level where I could be like, okay, let me listen to that. It was that and Migos. I was in the gym. I was like, okay, it's fast paced. It's like rager music. I can get with this. But outside of that, nah. I think that one album I listened to a lot, but I didn't follow through with nothing else. So, but
Couldn't
yeah,
get with it.
but Poop Cruise, man. Like I said, Trainwreck series on Netflix. Well, series. They got the Mayor Mayhem, which you might want to watch because it's about the mayor in Toronto who was on crack. But people still love Miss. Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild. But they got that one there.
Shit. I thought about y'all watching this whole documentary because y'all the Cruise family.
Yeah, but when like you can tell this is I've never rode any ships that were too old. And sometimes you gotta watch that because like when they refurbish ships and they change the name, that's because that's all they did with this cruise. Because the ship was something else and they changed the name of it. So it's still out there. They just refurbished it or repaired it and changed the name so it wouldn't have that stink on them, no pun intended. But I like to catch boats when they either a year or two after they first drop and then work out the kinks because it's always better that way. It's not too crowded, which this last cruise I saw everybody from people from here to people from Hemaway on that cruise last time I went on. But I try to catch cruises when they're fairly new.
Same agent.
Huh? What you say?
I said all y'all had the same agent.
Yeah, well, it was a very popular boat because thing about Royal Caribbean, it don't usually have a lot of kids on it, and that's what people like about it. It's more laid back. Carnival is the party. Royal Caribbean is more laid back. You want to eat, you want to chill, and so we did it before, and then we was like, we're gonna take the kids spring break. So it was at spring break. I saw one of my players, saw another dude from King Street that live up here. Saw a girl from Hemaway. So, it's like, dang, I saw all these people on this boat. End up meeting a dude from Coastal that went to Coastal. I played basketball at Coastal after I left on the island. So
Damn.
it was just a small world situation on that cruise. But yeah, I don't like to doing those refurbished and older boats. And I don't suggest, unless you just, used to it, I don't suggest anybody do it for their first time. And there was a lot of first time cruises on this Poop Cruise.
Question: How would you handle this situation that went down on the Poop Cruise? For those of y'all that don't know, we are talking about Poop Cruise on Netflix.
Yep, documentary on Netflix.
And
long
story short, the motor goes down and shit goes left.
Yeah, so they're having a good time. They get there, they go to their destination. I think it was like a 3 or 4. It's supposed to be like a 3 or 4 day cruise. End up being like 6 or 7. But they go out to sea, and they are just chilling. So they come back, and the motor goes out, and like something catches on fire, and it's like a whole panic. Like, what is going on? But they're stuck in the ocean.
The motor caught on fire.
Like something catches fire. Then the lights go out. So for I think 2 extra days, they're pretty much like Gilligan's Island, stranded in those.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is another boat came by, like another big boat cruised by them, but didn't pick them up. I didn't understand it.
They couldn't. The logistics wouldn't add up. They didn't have. People would have had to jump from boat to boat.
But see, that's the thing. Like, so being a very, very experienced cruiser, I they usually travel like in packs. So you see this, you see a boat in this way, you see another. But so I thought that was the reason why. Like, if something was to happen, another boat can come. But now they got these little small other boats on the cruises, and so I'm assuming. But I always thought that's why they cruised in like 3 or 4 cruises are not too far away from each other. Like, you can see the light, and of course they're very, very far away, but you can still see the light, or you can see the lights from their ship. So, but they're stuck. They're stuck for 2 days, and they the food's getting gross, and things just start happening. Like, then they're like, well, hold on. If everything's out, that means the bathroom's not working. So if you
Yep.
have to use the bathroom, poop in a bag, and that just seemed like it just made it worse. But people like found the bathroom that was working, people peeing on the side of the boat. It was just a whole battle. And then the worst thing you can do in a situation like that when people are desperate is give them more alcohol. And
Yep.
so they were like, oh, free alcohol. Like, that makes up for us being stranded. So you mix that, now people are really getting crazy. People are lusting for each other right on the boat, right on top of the cruise, like oh, right in the open, no blanket, no towel. People are peeing off the side of the boat. It's just a bunch of stuff. Like, why would you want people to be drunk in a desperate situation like this? Like, that just didn't make sense to me. So Carnival really
They
dropped the
turned
ball.
there.
Like, that ain't satisfying. Like, oh, free alcohol. Like, no, get me home. And, people just was scared. People was desperate. People were, there was no air, and the breeze from the boats is actually cool. It actually would be cooler on the deck. So that's why people were sleeping on the decks instead of in their rooms, because unless you got a balcony room or something like that, ain't no circulation really going in there. And so that it just worked out better. But and the toilets getting bagged up, and then it started overflowing and tipping. And that was the most disgusting
Hey,
part
yo,
of the
what's messed up?
situation.
What's messed up most about it is that the shit didn't really start getting bad until the actual tugboats that was there to save them
Start
started
tipping them
tripping.
off. When
So
they
now you
start
got
tipping
shit and piss water spilling out of all the toilets.
poop and pee water. Like, are you serious, yo? Like, are you serious? Like, I would have lost my mind. And that's what we said. Like, I don't know what I would have done. Even though they fully refunded everybody, gave them a $500 credit. I just don't know if I could have
And a,
trusted y'all
and
like
a,
that.
and a free cruise afterwards.
Right. So I don't know if I could have trusted y'all. And, like, it had to been like one of your newest boats, because I would have never went back. And all they did was refurbished the boat and renamed it, so it never had that. So if you ever looked up
Rise or some shit now or some shit.
Carnival Sunrise, it'll never tell you, oh, it used to be, or it might say it used to be this, but unless you know the whole story, you'll never know, oh, that's the boat that was poop everywhere. You just see, oh, they changed the name. That's all you see, unless you get.
Imagine the cleanup.
That's the crazy part. And the staff, and if you ever been on a cruise, the staff, they go above and beyond, because they're trained that way. They're foreigners, and that's their way of life. Like, they pretty much stay on those boats 9-10 months out the year.
Hmm?
So they don't really get to see their families like that. So that's their way of life. But just to imagine they got to do that, and they probably had to get off and go work another boat, because they probably took a lot of work to repair that boat.
They said they did like a $15 million refurbishment afterwards.
Yeah, that's usually what you got to do. And they probably lost a lot of money, but they don't compare the money they make on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis, because you got to think cruises go out weekly.
Big.
And for a family of say two people, say it's two people on a cruise, you're looking at anywhere from, depending on the cruise, you're looking anywhere from 400 to 3,000, depending on what cruise or what boat.
Oh shit.
You're looking at times the thousands of people on that boat.
Add another stack if you want the drink package.
You want the drink package, you add, you want the internet package, that's another couple hundred. You want early access to certain things like Royal Caribbean. Add a couple dollars of that. So it's different ways they get their money. And people are never short on getting that drink package. They're never short on that. But I don't know. I mean, I probably would have used the free cruise and the $500 credit on board. But I probably would. It probably been a long time that I went back to Carnival at that point. Especially if I was first time cruising. And if I was first time cruising, I probably wouldn't have went back on the cruise for a long time. But being that I've been on a couple, a few, I was because you gotta think, just like that past hurricane, we were stuck out there extra day.
Oh yeah.
So we were supposed to get back like 8 that morning. We didn't get back till like 2:00 that afternoon. Because when the hurricane hit in Florida, it was like, nah, we're gonna chill out here because it's safer out here. Instead of getting close to Florida. So
Out of the reach of it, yeah.
And, they were so good about it. They had extra food, they had extra entertainment, they had stuff for us to do. And like we didn't see any repercussions from the storm. When we got there, all we saw was everything was torn up. Like, trees and branches on the ground when you're going down 95. Well, going up 95, I should say. You saw places look like they were flooded a little bit, but you wouldn't know that till we got back to Florida. So it definitely, that's about the only bad situation I've ever had, other than leaving out of Charleston, that boat rocking left and right. So, but yeah, man.
What we giving them, Midge?
This is okay, Doc. It wasn't nothing special. I give it a B minus, C plus. Nothing, it's good information to have.
Yeah.
But it's not like if I never knew about this doc, it wouldn't be like one I'd be like, oh, I want to know what happened on the poop cruise.
I'm gonna give it a C plus.
Yeah, so it definitely wasn't, it definitely wasn't high on my radar where I just like, oh man, I need to see this. So it definitely was, man. So I definitely I just like documentaries. They got a couple coming out next week, so I'm gonna check out. So I'm just a documentary fiend at this point. So that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. So, hey, man, B Simone say she can't shop like she want to shop, man.
And excuse my language.
I never been a B Simone fan, so
not.
I never was a fan of hers. I never thought she was funny. I never got the appeal to her. And that just shows, man, people are so deluded. And then when I went back and watched, like her friend was telling her how her car got repossessed, she was homeless, and then you telling me you can't shop at H&M, and then she was telling like, yo, you had the money, but you were helping other people.
I watched you while I was going through it,
and it's like, hold on, man.
And then you're gonna turn it on you. I was at Bloomingdale's, and I said we gotta go to H&M.
Like what? Like I just told you I was homeless. Like I'm a single mother. Like what?
I mean, but that just show you that Simone ain't really that girl.
Yeah, you're right, man. Because
they throw that bad moniker around way too much, my boy.
Yeah, and then her book was plagiarized, so it's just like, yo, what is this, man?
What are we doing here?
What are we doing here? What you thought about the NBA draft?
It was cool. It wasn't as eventful as I thought it was going to be.
It's a reason it's not eventful no more, man. Because we don't get a chance to fall in love with college players like we used to once were.
Nah, like I was expecting more trades.
I didn't, because there ain't much out there to trade for. Like nobody wanted Julius Randle.
Yeah, I see he resigned.
Oh, he was gonna stay there. Of course, KD wanted out. They wasn't gonna trade Booker.
I thought Zion was gonna get traded.
I mean, that might come down the line, but they got so much stock into Zion. It's like, and then I don't think nobody want to take that gamble because it's like he's always hurt. He ain't played a full season in 7 years, 6, 7 years. So it's like, or 6 years or whatever it is, and it's
Boy, he unstoppable.
like, do I really want to take this gamble? Like, you know, like when he play, he got good numbers, but it's like, I don't want that drama no more. It's just a whole bunch of, other factors. I thought Trey Young is going to be one of the ones that they put out there.
They
I
was too
think
good last year for them to get rid of him.
they move Drew a little fast for me for my liking. It's like they already had Drew in the scope, but I know you couldn't keep him or Derek White, and Derek White has been playing at a higher level.
Big. The
Mhm.
bag was too big, man. They had to sell off some of that bread. I think they saved like 280 or something like that. They said.
This was a 2-year experiment. That's really what it was, and they got a chip out of it, so I guess it was worth it. And then they got new owners, so it's like
Yeah, they ain't spending that money like that.
like yeah, y'all got a chip out of this, but let's go. So then Porzingis went, and I knew Porzingis was out of there because
He
his
was
health,
sick.
his
They
health.
they still don't know what the hell wrong with him.
That's the crazy part. Like he was just getting fatigued, like in doggone 3 minutes. Like
So walking COVID. What the fuck
yeah,
is walking COVID?
it's like long COVID. Like he's like he had COVID one point, and it's like the lingering effects of it
Mhm.
still to this day. So that's what they claim it is. So, but I mean, like the reason I don't watch the draft no more because I usually know who's going number one, and I usually know a couple guys, but like I don't like it's not the love. Like I knew all the Fab Five. I knew all 5 members of the Fab Five. I knew Duke's whole first five lineup. I knew Carolina. I knew Kentucky's first five. I knew Mashburn and Delk and all those guys. I knew like now you don't get a chance to like somebody. One, because the NIL pay these dudes so much. Now they think they got the privilege to say, hey, I want to go here. Ace Bailey.
Right.
You are from Utah. So you can play or you can ruin your life for the next 3, 4 years.
Say bring that ass here, boy.
Right. So you thinking your agent give you the worst advice telling you to turn down
He got
meetings.
the worst management in the world.
That's unprofessional. Like, no, you gotta think that lingers on to other things. Like, if you're unprofessional enough to turn down me, that means when shoe companies want to deal with you, I'm like, nah. Because the word get around. They ask these GMs everything.
And you're not bigger than the symbol.
You're not bigger than the league, man. You act like you about to come in and be the face. It's not gonna happen, dude. Like, you got dudes out here, even SGA and Halliburton, as great as they played this year, they will never be the face. You got to have a certain factor of it. So it's like,
You got
like
a cool name.
they want to give it to people like Ja and Ant-Man, but they just can't get the act right.
Them niggas.
No, yeah, them boys from the hood. So them boys from the hood. So it's just, and like I said, I watch women's college basketball more than anything.
Mhm.
I probably know more women's college basketball players than I know men.
It's way more intriguing.
Right. So I don't. There's not. I knew Ace Bailey. I knew Dylan Harper. I knew Cooper Flag. I knew the kid from South Carolina just because he's from South Carolina. But other than that, I mean, I knew the kid from Duke, but I didn't watch. I watched like 1 or 2 Duke games this year because when Carolina stink, I definitely don't watch college basketball to the tournament to March Madness.
Boy, we ain't producing nothing in Carolina right now, bro.
So Carolina gonna stink it up next year.
You know Vince Carter was our last lottery pick?
Yeah. No. But they had Sean Mays, they had the Feltons.
None of them was lottery.
Oh, lottery is top 13, right?
No, well, lottery is the wrong word, but I mean top pick, top 3.
Oh, okay. Marvin Williams.
Marvin Williams.
Marvin Williams, number 2 to Atlanta.
Marvin Williams went 2?
Yes.
Vince Carter was the first pick, right?
No. Vince was in the first. Man, let me. Hold on. I gotta do this because I don't think Vince was the first pick. I gotta see that article because I don't. Nah, Vince was in the first pick. Nah, 1998 draft. Jameson went before Vince. Jameson went 4, Vince went 5.
God damn.
So 1998, man, we had a bunch of players since 1998. Now, if you want to be technical, because Marvin Williams went 2, Felton went like 6 or 7, E. McCants went 13 or 14, Sean May went like in the top 10. Then even after that, oh god, nah, that's probably it though. That's probably the last of the Mohicans. It was one more player that we had that was solid. No, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that class was the last couple. So I don't want to say Vince, but yeah, that championship team. Oh no, Ty Lawson them had a couple. So yeah, it's been more since then. I don't know. I gotta revamp that article. They gotta revamp that. They gotta revamp that because I don't think that's right. So, but yeah, man, that's it, man. That's all I got, man. Good doc, good, definitely a good movie.
Shoot, man, y'all follow us on
So
all
Big Red. Yeah, man. So definitely.
Hey, Red, come follow us over to TikTok. That's where we about to go to.
Are you gonna watch Ironheart? I am.
Whenever it finish.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Whenever it
Because we'll talk about it on TikTok.
it's the DEI Marvel.
They hate a black man character.
Oh yeah.
They hate a black man character. But yeah, we're gonna go over TikTok, man, and appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Being here on this good Sunday. We'll catch y'all next week. Depending on you got something in mind you want to watch? Sinners comes out on the 4th. Old Guard. We're going to do Old Guard. Old Guard 2.
Old Guard 2.
Do Old Guard 2. Yeah, but
well shoot. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Old Guard 2. And then we'll find something else. Maybe watch another doc. I don't know.
No. If y'all want to suggest something, feel free to inbox us.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you go to church, pay your tithes, and we'll see y'all next Sunday. Peace.